I never tell anybody unless they ask I'm the CEO of Royal Mail.
Fair.
I'll say I work for Royal Mail.
Right, okay.
Yeah. The CEO bit is just the title. Yeah. I'm still Alistair Cochrane. I still go home to my wife and my dog every evening. I've got 2 kids.
Yes.
I'm still the same guy as I was.
Alistair, thank you for joining us.
Not at all.
It's no, it's an absolute pleasure, and I'm gonna kick it off because I think we brought Behind the Chain on the road. We thought, let's do it slightly different. Let's get closer to the operation and actually see what's going on behind the scenes of a mega organisation such as Royal Mail. Now, 500 years in the making. I know you're newly appointed CEO from your interim position. Go on, what's the weight or the pressure of that? What does that feel like for you?
Look, I don't see it as a weight or pressure. I think I see it as a massive privilege to be leading this business. 130,000 people, a turnover of 8.3 billion. It is a real privilege to be able to be the CEO of such an organization. As you've said, it's 500 years that it's been around. And of course, as we transform ourselves into a much more of a parcels business rather than a letters business.
Yes.
It's about looking for the next 500 years.
Yes, I hear you. And as part of that transition, what do you think's been the big thing going from, let's say, letters, downstream access as a solution to, opening a site like this that's massively, geared towards automation, innovation?
I think it all comes down to e-commerce, isn't it? As e-commerce has got bigger and bigger, Royal Mail in the letters space, our letters are declining between about 8 to 10% a year.
Yeah.
So if you go into 24/5, about 6.3 billion letters. If you go into 25/6, as we've just finished, that's 5.7. So about a 10% decline. So if you extrapolate that over a number of years, letters are getting less and less. When was the last time you wrote a letter?
Yeah.
So of course, Royal Mail's had to adapt. It's had to reinvent itself. And parcels is about reinventing the facility we sit in here. 53 acres of one of the most sophisticated sort centres in the UK, if not in Europe. This place here will do anything between 1 to 1.2 million parcels a day.
That's insane.
So we've been growing and growing. So I think one of the biggest challenges has been we're a letters business at heart. We're a letters business that delivers parcels.
Yes.
And in the future, we'll be a parcels business that delivers letters.
Yes.
But there's a time for that to actually arrive. So the more and more that we can build our services out, build out the customer journey that we have, making sure that we are absolutely embedded in what we do in parcels. And our whole network is designed around it.
Yeah.
So of course, we're transforming not just what we do physically, but also what all of my colleagues around the country do as well.
Yes.
They've been delivering to people's door. And if I look at one of the key things that Royal Mail's all about, it's the delivery we do on the doorstep.
Yes.
The relationship we have on that doorstep is really, really keen. And we need to now move from just delivering a letter, delivering parcels and letters at the doorstep. So it's just becoming a different evolution as the business expands.
Well, I think a lot of people that know Royal Mail, probably from a customer perspective, probably know it as a delivery service through the letterbox. What would you want to showcase or tell them, to get to understand what goes into such a big brand and such a big operation, whilst we're here on site?
This is all about our strategy, our strategic vision is to be the carrier of choice.
Yes.
So if you think about letters, we've been the default carrier of letters because we are the delivery vehicle for letters in the whole of the UK. We now need to be the carrier of choice. Somebody, instead of just being default, you choose to use Royal Mail.
Yes.
So that to me fundamentally is what we're adapting to do. We need to be the carrier of choice so that when somebody decides to send a package, a box or an item, they think of Royal Mail.
Yes.
So it's about convenience and choice. So you'll have seen in our strategy, we've bought into Collect Plus, 49% of Collect Plus, 8,000 outlets that we'll use as Royal Mail shops. So we'll be able to transact over the counter. We've moved into lockers. We've got over 3,000 of our own lockers now. And we've got a relationship with Quadient that put in another 2,000 lockers. You've always had Post Office, the Post Office Limited. That's 11,000 locations around the country. And now we're getting into digitizing our pillar boxes. So we've got 115,000 pillar boxes around the country. So we're now putting solar panels on the top of those. So you can walk up to a pillar box and you can send a package at a pillar box. So it's all about convenience and choice. That gives us 24,000 ways in which you can transact with Royal Mail. And into 2030, that'll be double that. We want that to be around about 45 to 46,000. So about, they talk about it's a silly phrase, but they talk about the slipper test. And it's how far can I walk in my slippers to transact with a carrier. So I think convenience and choice are becoming more and more of a selling item that people need, that people want their carrier to actually have. So online presence, and then being able to, as you go about your day-to-day activity, you can then transact with that carrier, whether you're dropping off a return or you're collecting something that you've not been in during the day and you're not been able to receive it. So that's where I think things will evolve to. Royal Mail are embracing that.
And where does it take you on an international perspective? So how much of Royal Mail right now is domestic versus international? Because it seems like international is becoming a much bigger facet of the business.
Yeah, we've got disruptors that have come into the UK, haven't you? You've had the Chinese importers. So if you think about Chinese import, it's now probably about 12 to 13% of everything we do.
Got it.
So we have a cross-border and an international presence. We've always had that from a mail perspective, because the mail we send across the world gets delivered by other postal operators. And of course, mail that they're collecting that needs to be delivered in the UK, we deliver that on their behalf here. And it's the same in regard to parcels. We've been building up more of our presence as it's, disruptors like the Sheens and the Temus and the TikToks of this world become more and more of what we recognize in the UK. And I think becoming a competitor to the Amazons of this world. So I think there's a lot going into international. Of course, the international world is changing a lot. You've got the Trump effect.
There's a whole load of geopolitical things going on.
So I think that, international has always been there. We've always had a huge presence there. But I think it's becoming more and more a bit of what we actually do.
I hear you. And coming onto a hub, a super hub floor like this, as CEO, what does your eye immediately go to? Is there things you look out for that you might not suspect, people know you're looking out for, or?
Not really. I mean, to be honest with you, there's a management team that sits here. And it'd be unfair of me just to walk in here and then start picking in things. When I come into here, I spend time with the people. I'm really, really keen about showing the leadership that we've got here, answer any question that they've got. They're never going to have a better opportunity when the CEO is walking through the floor. Because remember, we have to be humble. You have to remember where you came from. So when I come onto here, I'm looking to be part of the team. There's a huge amount of planning and expertise that goes into running one of these facilities. And when you come onto it, you've got to be part of it. I do look at the throughputs. I'm very keen to make sure that we optimize this facility to the absolute max that it can do. I look at the number of items that the facility processes per hour, and then where we're able to clear them both into the facility, then out of the facility. Because if you think about our entire network, if the middle mile is working, it means that is feeding into the final mile. And that's when we're delivering to the customer. So making sure that you can bring it in and clear it through as quickly as possible, making sure that you're meeting all your deadlines, means that your delivery service can do everything it needs to do, delivering to the end user. So coming back to the question, I look to spend time with the people. People recognizing you as being part of the team as well is a big thing.
I mean, we had a quick conversation off camera just as to, when you, by choice, come through and decide to chip in with the team, what job is it you specifically do if you decide you're going to put high vis, a hard hat on, come and help the team out?
It's not a choice I have. More often than not, they're giving me probably the hardest job to do. There's no point sitting up in the control room and just watching it all. You've really got to get down onto, offloading a trailer, seeing what they're actually bringing through, putting parcels onto the belt.
Yes.
Seeing this facility work at its optimum, I think is key. So I normally get the hardest job, to be honest with you, Joey.
No, amazing. And to talk about the facility then and how it operates, is there a busy period, slow period? Like how, what time are the conveyor belts coming on? Like how does it typically function if you were to say, is there systems and patterns to the operation?
Yeah, I mean, this facility works 21 hours in a 24-hour window. Right. Yeah. Today, this is Monday. We close the machine down late on a Sunday through till about 1:30 on a Monday.
Got you.
So the shift is not long started.
Yes.
But that shift will now carry on all the way through the week.
Got you.
Right. So that 21 hours, and you've got both T24 and T48 coming into here. So what you will see going through the machine right now will be T48 material. So track 48.
Yeah.
And then as the evening continues, you'll see more and more of track 24 coming into the facility.
Right.
That track 24 will run through to around about 10 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. And then we transfer from track 24 into track 48.
Yes.
That doesn't mean to say we still have customers who give us late material into the facility, but we treat it differently.
Yeah.
So this is critical to us.
Yeah.
This machine, this facility operating the way that it does gives us the scale.
Yes.
And it's all about scale. It's all about making sure that you have got the capacity in which to accept your customers' goods into the network and actually clear them through and get them to their end user as quickly as possible. So I'd say a Monday morning is the quietest you'll ever see this place.
Yeah.
I come here at around about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's bliss because it's really quiet. Yeah. But by about 1 o'clock, as you can hear, it starts to fire up.
Yeah, I hear. And I know that you've got a site, obviously in another super hub in the Northwest that was first to open. Was there anything you learned through opening the first site that perhaps you then made sure or brought into this site to make it almost more efficient or more successful?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at what's going across, mostly what you can see here is brown boxes.
Yeah.
But it's not all brown boxes.
Right.
We get a lot of bags through.
Yeah.
So these are bags that people will put material into. A lot of the Chinese import comes into us in plastic bags. So we've had to adapt the machine to be able to take plastic bags. Right. This machine was designed around cardboard.
Yes.
And we then made sure it can adapt into plastic. But if you think about what we're doing here, we've got 1,250 delivery offices.
Yeah.
These are the local offices around the country. You've then got 37 mail centers.
Yes.
And they're delivering mail and parcels.
Yes.
You've got 5 regional parcel centers, and then you've got the 2 super hubs. You're in one of them today in the Midlands, and you've got another one of these in the Northwest. So it's quite an operation to make sure that all works together and make sure we're getting the parcels through the most efficient way that we actually can, and then getting them through to the end user.
And I guess looking at robotics, AI, how is that featuring in the super?
Well, that's a really good question. Automation, AI, and also technology is changing what we do in facilities like this all the time.
Yes.
If I took you onto the floor, I could show you AGV, so automated guided vehicles.
Yeah.
So we've got vehicles now, these automated guided vehicles, AGVs, that collect our yokes. So all the parcels go into a yoke that are generated from the machine.
Yes.
And the AGV collects it and then takes it to the trailer. So you're seeing more and more of that technology coming into our operation. And if I took you into any of the mail centers, you've got large parcel sorting machines. We've got robotics. You've got robotics in this facility. I've got trailers now whereby the floor of the trailer is actually a belt, so that we can connect it up to the warehouse, press a button, and the belt starts to move, and the parcels then start coming onto the machine.
Yeah.
So reducing the amount of handling that you've actually got.
Yeah.
It helps the package,
Yes.
but it also makes it more efficient.
Yeah.
So we're trying to look at new and different ways on efficiency all the time. If you then go into AI, AI is becoming more and more of a feature. Things like forecasting,
Yeah.
because any operation the size and scale that we've actually got needs forecasting to make sure that you can forecast the volume in and make sure you've got the right resources in at the right time to deal with what's coming through the machine.
With the operation, has there been any, what's the transition of, let's say, robotics to people? Would you say it's made it easier for the people on the floor introducing the robotics and the conveyor belts in terms of their day-to-day?
Well, I think so, because of course, remember, the one thing I can't dictate is all the peaks and troughs.
Yeah.
You know, we operate with a lot of customers across the country. And remember, we're here and one of the core services for the country.
Yes.
Both in terms of letters and then moving into the parcels. So we're forever working with our clients to make sure that we can deal with the peaks and troughs they've got. Bringing automation into the business assists the 130,000 people that we've got in the organization to deliver on behalf of those customers. So I think it's here to assist, not fully replace.
Yeah.
Because remember, we're not at a stage yet where a robot's going to walk up to your front door and deliver your parcel to you.
Yeah.
So it's about making sure that you're bringing automation, using technologies to assist our operation and make it more efficient than it is today.
And then I know you said it's not to, replace people, and there's, it's going to be a long time until all that kicks off. But what's been the progression of drones within Royal Mail? How's that working for you guys?
So if you think about Royal Mail, we deliver to 32 million addresses across the entire of the UK, which means we have to service a lot of the. If you go further up into Scotland and look at the islands and the highlands up there, we have to deliver to those islands on a regular basis. Yeah, we have an obligation. The USO, the Universal Service Obligation, means that we've got to make sure that we're getting through to all of those islands as well. And we use drones up there. We fly drones to and from the islands. Wow. In fact, just recently, we've now got a much bigger, fully electric ability to get to the islands. And to me, that's really important, because the number of packages we're sending, the volume of mail we're sending, you've got to make sure that you're getting that to people as early as we can. Using technology such as drones actually assists us in doing that. And wherever we're able to use third-party technology to come in and assist us, it makes sense to do that too.
Amazing. And I guess with a site like this, and we're talking about, the innovation of technology, robotics, what does it look like at peak? Because I guess in your business, there's an element of, you have to inject a load of, people into the operation to handle the capacity, but then you're also having to perhaps balance the import of the robotics and the conveyor. How does that work?
Well, if you think about peak is one of the most important times for a business like Royal Mail. We plan peak for the first day after the previous peak. So, for example, as we came into January of this year, because peak probably carries through into January, because you get all the returns have to go back. People order stuff that they need to send back, so you've got all the returns to deal with. We start planning from then, right the way through to when we get into the cyber weekend. So it's hugely important, because our parcel volumes double, and in some instances treble. And remember, it's going to 32 million addresses, so the fall to ground of those packages changes as well. So we have facilities around the country that lay latent for most of the year. We only switch them on getting ready for the peak period. So peak is hugely important. So if you think about the number of people that we take on around about peak, if you think in the operation, you've got between 108 to 110,000 people working in the operation every day of the year. And then at peak, we put in another 30 to 40,000 people to come in and assist us. So it's hugely important. That's why forecasting is so critical to us, to understand what customers are going to give us, what the volumes are going to be, to make sure we've got the right resources in place to be able to embrace that and still deliver to a very high quality of service. So it's critical. Getting peak right is critical. So there's a lot of time and effort, and a lot of years of learning as well has gone into making sure that our peak periods are very successful.
I hear you. And what does this all do in terms of price? So you would almost, in any other business, world, you'd almost suggest, well, if the operation scale's going up, if the technology's going up, that the price inadvertently has to go up. Like, what does that do for the price of delivery?
So that's a really, really good question. So price is critical to any carrier and what you can actually charge.
Yes.
Royal Mail has huge opportunity because of the size and scale that we are, but we have some challenges as well. We are 99% employed.
Right.
So what does that mean? That means that all the posties across the country are employed by the organization.
Yes.
My direct competitors don't work on the same basis as that.
Yes.
They'll have a lot of third party in their business. So price and efficiency is critical to making sure that we can, for what we do, make sure we can drive the right volume of profit through as well. Because that's correct. The only way I can invest in the future is making sure we've got the profits coming through to be able to do that. So price and getting the balance of price, and I think it's cost versus price.
Yeah.
And it's making sure you strike the right balance between what you can charge, what we can charge for a first class stamp or a second class stamp. Remember, you can send something through Royal Mail today, first class, for £1.80. That can go from Brighton right the way up to Inverness, and it's the same price.
Yeah.
So making sure, and you think about what any carrier can do to that type of basis. And then if you look at us in a pricing comparison to Europe, and what's actually charged here, it's not as expensive as it probably people perceive it to be. So to me, getting the balance between price and cost is absolutely critical. Creating efficiency in your operation is again critical to make sure that you can leverage that efficiency, that you're not charging, as soon as price changes, you're pushing everything through to the customer. There has to be a balance.
Yeah. It's interesting because I think that's something that, as a customer myself, it goes overlooked. Like the fact you employ the posties and the Royal Mail, the people delivering, is probably a massive value add to the end customer, right? And the fact of, just being regulated, being monitored, and probably being held to a certain standard versus some of the other carriers. So, yeah, that's it's a really interesting, I guess, point to that, because as a customer, you never necessarily think about it.
No, but if I speak to anybody, so I've been here now for 3 years, in the chief operating officer's role, now into the CEO.
Yes.
And anybody I speak to, whether that's colleagues, friends, or even people I bump into, everybody knows the name of their postie.
Yeah.
And that's critical, Joey, because the relationship, as I mentioned before, that we have on the doorstep is really, really strong. So, I sometimes ask people, what's the name of your carriers that are delivering to you? Do you know the name of the driver that delivers? And sometimes people find it hard, but they'll always know the name of your postie. So it's a huge strength to us, but it's a challenge as well, because the difference between a fully employed model versus an employed and subcontract model is significantly different. And the level playing field really that Royal Mail would like is everybody's judged on the same basis. And that becomes quite difficult because that we employ everybody that's in the business. But always remember that everybody knows the name of their postie.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess like one of your, main duties as CEO is to come in and improve the profitability of Royal Mail. What would you say is sort of the top 3 things that you're looking to deploy over the next, 3 to 5 years that will really help push profitability?
Again, another good question. Look, we need to grow in parcels. So we need to make sure that we're attractive to be able to grow in parcels. And whether that's picking up and sending through to the receiver, or if it's collecting a return and sending it back. So you've got to make sure that we're convenient. We've got to make sure that we're attractive, so we've got the right price so that customers can come and interact with us. We've got to make sure our quality of service is as high as it can be, making sure that reliability is there. Because I know that I want reliability from whoever delivers to me. And I understand that all the end users want that from Royal Mail. So I'd say growing, convenience, reliability, and then making sure that Royal Mail is here for the next 500 years. As I look at the privilege that I've got leading this business, making sure that I've got the right leadership across the organization to take us forward into the future.
And since Royal Mail's changed ownership, have you seen much change, or has there been much strategic, a different side of the strategic direction Royal Mail's going in?
Now, look, I'll quote Daniel Kretinsky. It's a change in ownership, but it's not a change in direction.
Yeah.
The first thing he asked me to do was to strike deals with the two unions.
Right.
He wanted to make sure that we had that protection in there. It's a 3-year deal, goes through to 2028. So he was very keen to make sure that we deliver against the USO obligations that we've got, making sure that we can improve the quality of service that we have in the company. I'd be the first to admit the quality of service isn't where it needs to be. And there's a lot of time and effort now going into making sure that we can deliver on behalf of the nation, getting through and improving where we currently are today to the future. We've just had USO reform given to us by Ofcom, and that is critical to us. That's giving us the ability to change what we do in delivering to the doorstep and creating more reliability and consistency in what we actually do. So to me, that's where it really comes down to, is making sure you can embrace, and that's what Daniel Kretinsky and the EP group have done. They've understood what the challenges are, they've embraced those challenges, and they're directing me to push on and make sure that we are set up for the future.
Yeah, okay. And that's quite a mammoth responsibility, and it's probably gonna, I want to go now down a road of, more yourself, how you've transitioned from an operational background now into this sort of C-suite position, and what that's been like for you, and just to give the people listening a bit of sense of, the journey you've been on. Look,
I started my career as a sales guy. So right back in the day, seems a long time ago now, Jerry, but I was a sales guy. But you then go from sales into sales management, then into general management. At the time when I was working with TNT, I had my own P&L, so I looked after a profit and loss statement for the business at that time. I then moved into a regional director's position, so you become more of a generalist.
Yes.
And that's what I think is my role today. I'm more of a generalist. I have subject matter experts that are around me. People who are recruited because of the skill set they've got.
Yes.
What we need to do, what I need to do as a leader of this business, is making sure that people have got that ability to use all the skills that they've got, deliver them for the business, create more generalists, create more leaders, because this is all about leadership. This is all about making sure, one, you remember where you came from. It's funny, I was speaking to some people the other week there, they were asking something similar. I said that, the one thing, always remember where you came from.
Yes.
Be humble as you come through the business. Being humble, understanding what people are doing day in, day out. And remember, we ask a lot of our people to go out in all sorts of weathers to deliver on our behalf. So you've got to make sure that you understand what they're going through. As well as you want them to understand a bit of what you're going through.
Yes.
So to me, it's making sure that you evolve. I've had to think differently. I've got to make sure that this business is ready to be able to embrace the challenges that we see in the future. Making sure that we're fit for purpose as we look to the future as well. So, I think that as I've come through, as I've learned leadership, I've got a few years under my belt now. So, of course, from that point of view, you learn with age.
And I usually would start an episode with this question, but I'm going to ask it now. At what point did you realize you were going to be a major business leader? And where were you at in life? What was happening in your life or in the background? And
I don't think I ever did realize. I think that you have to embrace the opportunities that are put in front of you. This was when I got given the opportunity to step up into this role. I didn't see it coming, Jerry, I must admit. I came here to be the Chief Operating Officer.
Yes.
I was 2 years in. This opportunity came up, and I've embraced it with both hands. I thought I had something to offer, and I'll continue to do that until somebody tells me I've not. I thoroughly enjoy doing what I'm doing, but I don't think that you're always looking for the next role, the next opportunity. But I don't think I ever thought about being, the business leader that I am. But remember one thing, I could not do what I do without having a really, really good, strong team behind me. People who are committed to doing what they do in a day in, day out basis, because you're one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a huge responsibility, but you're one guy. Having those people assist you in taking the business forward, I think, is the criticality of it. I couldn't survive and do what I do if I didn't have that team behind me.
And speaking to, let's say to the people that may be listening and they're at the level of reporting into someone like yourself, what things do you look for in terms of leadership team that you think, do you know what? I've got a solid team. I could go to war with these guys or women.
Yeah, you're looking for ambition.
Yeah.
You're looking for somebody who's got the ability to do the role that you've employed them to do. But you're always looking for, as you're looking for the next stage in your team and the next stage in their career, you're looking to see those traits come through. So, again, one thing that you see, the longer you do this, you're able to identify talent.
Yeah.
And I think you've got to be able to identify it. You've got to then embrace it. You've got to make sure that you take those obstacles out the way of that talent, so they can really expand their horizon, deliver for you, and then become the leaders of the future. Because remember, I'm on the swan song of my career. I've done the years. I'm looking for those individuals who can come and step up into this role. Yeah. Into those senior roles. And I think that, I've just spent a lot of time looking at talent and talent development, looking for the next leaders that we see for the future.
Well, I know you touched on forecasting not too long ago, more in relation to the operation, but to put it to, forecasting of your position, was there any surprises stepping into this role? You went from COO to CEO. Was there any, surprises that caught you? Actually, I wasn't expecting, me to be handling as much of this or...
Yeah, look, the amount of time I spend in government,
right?
The amount of politicians that I meet, going to a select committee. Yeah. I always knew that I'd have unions around me, and I have a long and a strong relationship with the unions. But things surprise me every single day, whether it's people surprising me because of what they're bringing to me and basically surprising me in their capability. But I'd say the amount of time that I spend in government, speaking to politicians, understanding what they want to see Royal Mail for. They've got constituents. They want to see us deliver for those constituents and deliver to a very high standard. So that's something that I think it's not shocked me, but that surprised me. I do spend a fair bit of time in government.
Interesting. And let's say you're out of a work environment and you meet someone new, and just general getting to know someone, they say, hey, what do you do? And you turn around and say, oh, I'm the CEO of Royal Mail. What do you normally get as a reaction to that?
I never tell anybody unless they ask I'm the CEO of Royal Mail.
Fair.
I'll say I work for Royal Mail.
Right, okay.
Yeah? If people then say, what's your job in Royal Mail, then I'll expand into that. And that's for no other reason that I'm a member of a team.
Yeah.
I'm one person of 130,000.
Yes.
And you always have to remember that, yeah? The CEO bit is just the title. Yeah. I'm still Alistair Cochrane. I still go home to my wife and my dog every evening. I've got 2 kids.
Yes.
I'm still the same guy as I was. So to me, it's about being part of the team.
Yeah.
Because, again, I'll come back to it. I can't do what I do unless I've got the team, 130,000 people, all pulling in the same direction to take Royal Mail forward.
Yes.
If people expand and ask me other questions, I'll tell them what I do.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I work for Royal Mail.
Nice. And like Stephen Bartlett will say, he almost categorizes life in terms of pouring into different category buckets. You've got personal, you've got work, you've got kids, you've got... But how has that been for you since you've been in, main leadership type positions? How have you handled that?
And again, another really good question. Getting that balance right is hugely tough because, this is a big business with a huge turnover and lots of people that you are responsible for.
Yes.
Yeah? Which means that takes a lot of your time, both in the working day, but also at the weekends and in the evenings as well, because you don't switch off.
No.
Yeah. So you have to have a very, very understanding wife and family. I have that, and I'm able to get that balance right. But again, it comes down to, I say to a lot of my team, you've got to get that balance. You've got to strike the right balance. You've got to something that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just getting that right. There's going to be times where it's all work. But the down times you've got to make the most of as well. You know, you were talking before, I love playing golf.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when I go out on the golf course, that's my time.
That's you.
That's me. You know, and that just gives me the ability that I can maybe switch off from the work and focus on how far I can hit that little white ball and get it in that cup. So you've just got to get the balance right, I think.
Worth knowing you play off 12, is it?
At the moment, I play off 12. It's taken me a lot of years to get there, Joey, and I don't know if I'll improve upon it, but I play off 12, about 12.4.
Yeah. No, it might be intimidating if someone was going to offer you a game of golf and try and rub
I only
shoulders
wish
on
I
the
could
golf
play to
course.
12.4. That'd be really good.
Yeah, and is it your kids? Are they in industry? What is it they do?
No, they've chosen completely different
Have they?
industries to work in. My wife works for Iron Mountain. Sorry, my daughter works for Iron Mountain.
Yeah.
And my son works in outside broadcasting and that industry.
Oh, wow.
They've chosen their own paths.
Iron Mountain, isn't that 3PL?
Mainly in the document area. Right. They deal with a lot, big, huge, massive organization.
Yeah.
Iron Mountain. So document storage.
Yeah, okay.
They're involved in. But they do have big facilities as well.
Yeah.
She worked for CBRE before. She now works for Iron Mountain.
Right, I hear you. And I guess going into the future, what's your prediction for Royal Mail in the UK? Are there going to be more super hubs that come about? What's the
I think going to find Royal Mail become more customer centric, more customer focused. This is about making sure that you can embrace what the customer thinks of you as an organization.
Yeah.
Making sure that you understand their needs. How can you support them better? How can you make as we've said before, the convenience, the reliability? You're an extension in a lot of instances either of individual businesses, small and large, and then you're delivering on behalf of a lot of people and making sure that you can meet that customer service and that quality of service that they're looking to have. It should be easy to transact with Royal Mail. It shouldn't be a chore. And we've got to make sure that it stays easy. So each one of these is a delivery office. See all these chutes that you've got here?
Yes.
They're delivery offices and these individual Yorks that you can see. And if you come here, you'll see that each one of these Yorks has got a tag on it. So you come here, see those individual tags there?
Yeah.
Right, so that is making sure we can track this York at any point in the network. Right? So all the trailers are tagged and all the Yorks are tagged. So I can actually tell what parcel is going into what York and then what trailer it's going onto.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
so it's a company called Williot, and we actually tagged up 800,000, I think 900,000 Yorks.
Oh, wow. Across how many sites?
1,250 sites the Yorks are going in and out of. But that's making sure we've got 900,000 of these in operation.
Yes.
And this is how we transfer all the packages through to all the delivery offices.
Onto the conveyor belt, out to the, and is it already sorted on the yokes as to where they're going, or is it going to be split on the conveyor belt?
This is only sorted to delivery office.
Okay.
And then what they do when they get it into the delivery office, they then need to make the York.
Yes.
Break that down into the individual walks that we deliver with the post letters to the individual's house.
Yeah.
And that's where they merge the two things together.
And I love the comment of walks, because so many people just think it's going to be coming to you by van or, but a lot of the posties are on foot, aren't they?
They are, but mostly, if you look across the entire country, most posties now go out in a van with two people in the van.
Right.
Then they park the van up, and then they do loops around the van.
Yes.
They do those walks around the van.
Right.
And then come back to the van. And the reason for that is because it's not just letters any longer.
Yes.
It's letters and parcels. So you got to make sure that you're embracing both the letters and parcels.
Got you.
So of course, because parcels are bigger of their nature and size,
too much to fit.
That's why we send them out in a van. And more often than not, you've got two people in every van.
Got you. And what's been when you walk onto a site like this, and you obviously, I know you look at what it perhaps has evolved from. What for you has been the most impressive, or what for you actually is the thing that makes you smile or think, you know what, this is brilliant?
The technology that goes into here, of what we did to create the facility in the first place, putting the machine in. And then we've now got automated guided vehicles that are now taking the yoke from the machine across to the trailer. And that really does make me smile. That's where innovation and automation is really coming into its own. Really becomes a thing. And I see more and more of that. And that's where you really see the evolution of what's happening in our industry, where you're using more and more technology to assist you to create that efficiency to deliver to the customer.
And are those the little red robotic things that are shuffling across the floor?
That's what these are here.
Right.
So these are AGVs, automated guided vehicles. They've been manufactured and created in Royal Mail. So we designed them. And we built them ourselves. So each one of these, and the reason we had to do that is because most AGVs lift from the floor. Our yokes have a floor that lifts up. So we had to design something that lifts it from the wheels. And that's exactly what they do.
Interesting. And is it a lot of work to upkeep on maintenance and you know,
sure. But you see that across the entire network. You know, we've got teams and teams of engineers that operate these and this technology.
Keep the wheels moving.
Correct. And of course, when you do something in-house, you got to make sure you got that intrinsic knowledge you're keeping as well.
Got you. And in terms of the overall like workforce, how do you feel like you stay close to, you know, you stated earlier there's 130 employees. How do you feel? 130,000, sorry, How do you feel like you can stay close to, you know, that many employees given the sort of size and sort of scale?
Again, a good question. We have an internal social media site called Robin. So we do a lot of interaction. Royal Mail TV goes out on there, so they'll see me on that. That's a mode of how we communicate. You can still got letters and memos that we send out, but we use Royal Mail TV, and all of our employees can use Robin as well. The reason that we've actually got it, you can go get your pay slip off it as well. So that means that you have to use it. And it creates that involvement. It creates that
interaction,
camaraderie as well, and making sure that people are actually involved.
Is it all formal, or is there social?
No, it's both. You get charities stuff on there. You get shout outs for people on there. You know, we have a thing called the Heart of Royal Mail Awards every year. So these are the absolute pinnacle, whereby people, your colleagues, are recommending you for a Heart of Royal Mail Award.
And what kind of awards can they win, if you were to name a few?
They win. You can have Customer Service Person of the Year. You can have Delivery Office Person. You get the Postie who's gone the extra yard. We get lots of that, you know, whereby, you know, somebody's called on a property, nobody's answered, they can see inside that somebody's... You've seen all sorts of stuff like that, where Posties have gone the extra mile to assist one of their recipients. And that's the type of thing. You're looking to see that, you know, the high flyers, but also those who have gone the extra mile.
And has there been any, like, would you say unsung heroes, or?
That's what it is. That's what they all are, the unsung heroes. People who are doing this day in, day out, but something that gets spotted. You know, we've had individuals who somebody's, you know, fallen ill and they've assisted. You know, it's that type of thing. It's where it's really, really, it brings it home to you just how important Royal Mail is, and how important the individuals that we've got in Royal Mail are.
So we've brought it outside to the main entrance of the Super Hub. So, Alistair, what was it like first time visiting as CEO?
Oh, look, I've had the ability to see this thing being built before I was working for Royal Mail. So the first thing I actually saw was the multi-storey car park. So it's got a multi-storey car park for the staff that actually, you know, work in the facility.
Big station.
This is 53 acres. This is 30 football pitches. That's the scale and size of this place. You know, 14 jumbo jets you can park inside it. So it's a huge undertaking to create something like this. But the further that Royal Mail went into parcels, it needed to, I think, catapult itself in demonstrating to customers, that we were really, really serious for the investment we were putting in.
Yes.
And that's why this place was created. And then we also did another one up in the Northwest. Not quite as big as this, but probably 2/3 the size.
Wow.
And if you talk about this facility, we've got one floor on here that's dedicated to the Royal Mail Academy.
Yes.
This is all about training. This is about making sure that our employees are giving the tools and the skills in which to deliver for us.
Yeah.
So we use the academy. It's the training academy for Royal Mail, and they do lots and lots of courses here for individuals who, in all different aspects, whether that's in operations, it could be in administration, it could be in sales. They look after a lot of different things in the academy.
And what would you say is the biggest growing division of Royal Mail right now?
The biggest growing division? I don't think there's any single growing division. I think that, of course, our operations and our parcels are getting more.
Yeah.
Parcels are getting bigger.
Yeah.
So I'd say, if anything, the operation is where it's at when you really see it grow.
Yeah.
I think I was saying before, we on average around about 108 to 110,000 people a day in the operation. And then, of course, at peak, that gets to as high as 140,000.
Got you.
So it becomes, that's where you really see it, where we're making sure that we've got the right resources in the right place to deal with the demand we've got coming through.
Brilliant. Well, Alistair, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Well,
Appreciate
thank you very much
you showing me around, and it's been brilliant to meet you.
Great. Thank you very much.